Hey everybody, welcome back to Kat's Kitchen. Now today we're going to be making some meals for the week. It's Monday, so the start of the week, and Monday's usually my laundry day, so I have certain days of the week that I get my chores done around the house, just to keep up with some things. But today we're also going to be cooking some lunches and dinners for the week. So I'm going to show you what we're working with. And if you guys are ever interested on, housekeeping or chores or anything like that, or even just like trying to get a basic schedule down for, your household, just let me know. I can do a separate video on that if you guys are interested in that. I also want to let you know our blog is up and running. So if you go to catskitchenblog.com, you will see the recipes that we're uploading on there. I don't have many up there right yet, but just give me some time and I will be publishing more recipes, from here on out. I'll be putting a lot more on there. And then it's very easy to print out the recipe or change the serving sizes. I have the general serving sizes of what the recipe calls for, and if you need more or less, you can either add or subtract to that and it'll adjust all the ingredients for you. So yeah, and then I usually put a link. I've been trying to put a link to my video right there too. So if you want to watch and see how it's done, or you can read all about it, etc. Also, some other good news is I've also started our Instagram page. So there you can find us at Kat's Kitchen Blog on Instagram. And I will link both of those below in the comment section for you guys just to click right on, and it'll make it easier for you. So go follow us on Instagram, check out our blog for the recipes, and hit the like button if you haven't. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out here and it helps us to make more content for you guys. So let's get right into this week's meals. Okay, everybody, so here's what we're working with today. I took out a freezer meal. I made stuffed cabbages. You can see in January. Well, this is still January. We're just at the tail end of January here. So I took this out for later on this week. We're going to make some mashed potatoes with these stuffed cabbages, and there's a tomato sauce that's on these already, and that's going to taste absolutely delicious. So I'm just going to let this thaw out naturally, really easy. I just pulled it out, so I'll probably put it in the refrigerator, and then it'll be ready for us for tomorrow whenever we go to bake it. Alrighty, and today we're going to be working with, I have 2 chicken quarters here, and then I have 2 Delmonico steaks, and then 1 New York strip steak. These steaks are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look how thick that is. That is gorgeous. This is from the half cow that we just purchased. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna make these probably for Mark's lunch. And then we're gonna have steak salads tonight. And then this one, usually they do 2 steaks in a package for me, but this was probably just, one of those random ones. So I'm probably gonna do another steak for his salad for lunch, or one of his or my lunches. So yeah, so these are basically gonna be dinner tonight and probably lunch for the next couple of days. And then, like I said, dinner tomorrow will be our stuffed cabbage. So let's work on getting this meat marinated. All right, everybody, so we are starting with our steaks because that's gonna be a little faster. We're just rinsing our meat right now, cutting up in the bags. And then we're gonna pop the steaks back in our bowl. And I have a garbage can over here to my right. I just like to make the setup easy on myself. It makes cooking a lot more enjoyable. When your kitchen is clean, dishwasher is empty, or at least has room in it. And before you start cooking it, it's just a lot more enjoyable to cook like that. All right, next I'm gonna wash my hands. So we have 2 Delmonicos and 1 New York strip in here. And we're just gonna give it a little love. Okay, so what we're gonna do, from what I've learned from steak, because I used to really not be able to cook steak that well. But, you know, when I married Mark, he really likes steak, so I had to get better at it. And that's okay. It's always a good skill to learn. So we're gonna start off, and what I've learned is the simpler that you have your steak, the simple seasonings that you use is often the best kind. So I usually do just a salt, a pepper, and then if I have like a nice steak seasoning or rub, I'll do that. I've really been enjoying these Cabela seasonings. This one here is Mountain Man Barbecue. This one's really good too. Mark got me these. Roasted garlic and beer. So those two are really good. It came in a pack of 3. I think the other one was like Kentucky bourbon or something like that. Like Kentucky barbecue or something, but they were all really, really tasty. So what I'm gonna do is just do some salt, pepper, and then I think we're gonna go with the Mountain Man bourbon for today. And no rhyme or reason, we just, you know, we switch it up. And then, yeah, and then we're just gonna rub these steaks, and we're pretty much gonna be done with the steak marinade. The only other thing I'm gonna do is I am gonna be slicing up some onions whenever we do our chicken. So I'll just make sure I slice enough onions for the chicken and for our steaks, and I'll just put the onions in this bowl on the side. That way that when we go to cook these later on for dinner tonight, I don't have to really do anything. I can just kind of throw it all in the pan. Because we love lots of onions. Oh, and mushrooms too. I'm gonna pepper mushrooms. We love lots of onions and mushrooms on our steak. I don't know about you, but if you do, leave a comment down below and let me know. So, okay, here we go, guys. Also make sure to season both sides of the meat. Gotta get both sides happy. If you really want to go old school with the seasonings, and I say that respectfully, just because it's old school doesn't mean it's you know, bad or anything. But usually rosemary, thyme, salt, pepper, and your butter. That is like the old, you know, if you just want to stick to an oldie but goodie, that's always a good option for seasoning your steaks. We are in the middle of winter right now, but if you have those dried herbs or fresh herbs to put in your pan and then baste with your butter, that's obviously a really nice way to cook the steaks as well. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sprinkle our seasonings on, and then I'm just gonna pack it in. As you can see what I'm doing, kind of like a rub. So I already have salt on both sides. Now I'm just following up with our pepper and then our steak seasoning of your choice. And then we're just gonna let these sit in the marinade in the refrigerator with this rub on. And so we're ready to, you know, for dinner tonight, like I mentioned. But what you wanna do is anytime you're cooking meat, you wanna take it out of the refrigerator at least 30 minutes before you're going to cook it. It helps the muscle relax. You actually get a more tender piece of meat that way. And that's really kind of a rule of thumb for any type of meat that you're cooking too. And I also think I'm not positive on this, I'd have to look this part up, but I think it's the same for seafood as well. You just want, you know, that piece of meat to come up to room temperature before you start searing it. Okay, perfect. So these are all looking happy now. I'm gonna, like I said, cover this up with some plastic wrap. We'll put this back in the refrigerator to get happy for us. And I'm gonna slice up some portobello mushrooms and some onions and just put them in here on the side of the bowl. And then we'll cook those first, and then we'll cook our steaks, but I'll show you how we do that later on. Alrighty, so next we're going to prep our chicken. So over here to my right, I have diced up 1 medium onion and 2 zucchinis, salt and pepper, and some garlic. In my cast iron, and then my smaller cast iron, I have 2 sweet potatoes I topped and tailed. I don't poke any holes in them or anything, I just bake them right like that, and they come out perfect every time. Okay, so next we're gonna do our chicken. So, and also too, whenever you're doing a lot of cooking like this, obviously make sure that you're gonna cut all your vegetables and fruit, if you have fruit, first. And then, you know, all you have to do is really rinse the board off, and then you can go ahead and cut your meat, because you don't want to cross-contaminate. So normally I would leave the skin on this, but today I want to take it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a little cut. There's like a lot of loose skin right here in between the thigh and the drumstick. And we're just gonna kind of take the knife down like that, and then it'll start to shave off. And then what we'll do is we'll season up our chicken and pop it right on top of our vegetables. And then we're just gonna bake it all. I have our oven preheating right now to 350. By the time I get this chicken skin off here, it'll probably be ready for us. And then your chicken skin will pull right up. Once you loosen it from underneath, Alrighty, so next we're gonna season up our chicken. Because there's just bones underneath on this cut of chicken, I'm only gonna season the top side. So we're gonna give it some salt here. We're gonna do salt and pepper, parsley, and poultry seasoning. Now, if you want to use one of those rubs that I showed you before, like I have the one from I have a couple from Cabela's, that tastes really, really good on chicken as well. It just kind of depends on what flavors you're going for, but that's a good way to switch up chicken too, because chicken's pretty bland. You got to add a lot of flavor to it. I'm also going to add in some garlic and onion powder. And then we'll call this one good. And then we're just going to bake this in our oven, 350. And it's probably going to take about, I'd I'd say a good 35 minutes or so, between 35 to 40 minutes. Like I said, this is not our dinner. This is technically meal prepping, so this is going to be lunches for later on this week. A bit of poultry seasoning on there. Perfect. All right, so I'm just going to let all this roast along with our sweet potatoes. We're going to let these bake, and I will check these. I'll probably check them in about 20 minutes, but like I said, they'll probably take a good 35 to 40 minutes to cook through. But this is kind of what I like to make for fast food, as it were. But really, you just chop everything up, you put it all, you season it, you put it in your cast irons, you bake it. If you don't have a cast iron, that's okay. You can use a cookie sheet or any kind of baking sheet and just roast everything. Now, the vegetables underneath the chicken aren't going to get real crispy or roasty, but that's okay. I just want them to cook through, and then the juices from the chicken are going to go onto the vegetables, and then in the end, we'll mix them all together, and it's going to taste really, really good. So yeah, this is kind of how I do fast food when either I'm in a pinch or I'm trying to meal prep. You know, it's really, all you need to do is really just chop up everything, season it, and bake it off. So I'll see you guys back here once this is done roasting. And then later on tonight, we're going to be making our steak salad. So I'll show you that too. Everybody, so we are back. I have my cast iron skillets here. I took our chicken out, and I'll show you that in a little bit. I already portioned that out into 2 lunches. Now I just browned some butter here in our skillet. And then I'm just gonna start by laying in our steak. This one is big. Just trying to get an idea here. Alrighty. I'm gonna bring our temp back up to about medium. Perfect. I think what I'm going to do is save that third steak because this is the larger one. And we'll probably just wrap this up and cook it fresh tomorrow. And then over here, I already caramelized our onions and our mushrooms. Check that out. So yeah, we're just going to sear this up, and then I'll show you the lunches that I already packed up. I was able to get 2 of these containers of our chicken and vegetables. And then I just poured the sauce over top so that everything would stay really nice and moist. And then we have the sweet potatoes in there and the onions and zucchini that we made. So these are ready to go for lunches. So these are pretty thick steaks than normal. So I like mine mid-rare and Mark likes his medium. So I'll probably usually do about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. I'm gonna get a nice good crust on there, so I'm just increasing the temperature. And yeah, this is about it. Just give a nice sear to whatever temperature that you prefer. And then we already have our salad prepared, so we're ready to go with that as well. And it's gonna be nice, fast, easy dinner. And I have some homemade croutons and some olives I'm gonna put on the salad as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Kat's Kitchen. And don't forget to check out our blog and our Instagram page. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Thank you. We'll see you later, guys. Bye.